Good morning. Welcome to Morning Momentum. Today we're going to look at two contrasting ideas that are going to propel us toward the challenges that we should be accepting. And those two principles are simply this: noticing the eyesores, the things around us that just nag us because we know they can be better than what they are. And the contrast of that is excellence, which drives us to not leave things the way that they are, but to get the very best out of ourselves and those things around us. So get ready. If you just give me a few minutes today as we dive into these before you head out the door, charging forward with momentum. We've all heard the idiom, the phrase, go the extra mile. We've also heard the expression, that's an eyesore. Basically, these are two diametrically opposed outcomes. Everyone appreciates extra mile efforts, but no one appreciates eyesores. Furthermore, no one needs an eyesore, but most everything of value in life not only needs but also deserves the extra mile. Go the extra mile is derived from the scripture. The meaning of the phrase is simply do more than is required. The phrase is summed up in one word: excellence. The dictionary defines excellence as the quality of being outstanding or extremely good. Excellence simply stands out, and a person that possesses and pursues this quality is one that refuses to be average. The principle of go the extra mile really persists throughout the scripture. Indeed, the word excellence appears 57 times between the Old and New Testaments. All that to say that excellence is something we need to strive for in every important area of our lives. In our jobs, we should avoid good enough. In relationships, we should refuse just getting by. In our walk with God, we should absolutely despise average. Striving for excellence must be a pursuit of every child of God. If you're going to achieve excellence, you must first desire excellence. It's pretty simple. If you don't want it, it's not going to happen. You are never going to achieve excellence by accident. Secondly, observe the experts. Whatever you want to do, find out who does it best and observe how the best in the field does it. Thirdly, emulate the experts. Don't just watch what they do what they do. And then fourthly, get organized. This is a big one. Spend time wisely with preparation. Repeat these words: strategize and plan. First, strategy is how I'm going to get it done. Secondly, planning is when I'm going to get it done. In Stephen Covey's bestseller, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, he lists habit number 3 as putting first things first. In that chapter, Covey introduces the 4 quadrants of time management. These quadrants are quadrant number 1, which is the urgent and the important. Those are our crises, our pressing problems, and the deadlines that are there for us. Quadrant number 2 are not urgent, but they are important. These are plans. These are relationship building. These are preparations. Quadrant 3 are urgent, but not important. These are interruptions, popular activities, a ringing telephone, things that just continually come up. Quadrant 4 are not urgent and they're not important. These are trivial and busy work, time wasters, pleasant activities. To simplify, quadrant number 1 are problems. Quadrant number 2 are preparation. Quadrant number 3 are popular. And quadrant 4 are pleasant. Where do you think people that achieve excellence spend most of their time? Covey states, highly effective people spend as much time as possible in quadrant 2. If you guessed 2, you got it right. Truthfully, most everything of significance in our lives grows out of quadrant 2. The challenge is that quadrant 2 contains all the things we know we need to do, but somehow seldom get around to doing them. Why? Because quadrant 1 and quadrant 3, the urgent and pressing things, are there in that moment, or the pleasant things in quadrant 4. For instance, our spiritual life grows out of quadrant 2. It is important, but cannot afford to be pushed off until it becomes urgent. Obviously, you could stress that a walk with God is urgent, but not in the context of this illustration. In fact, that's the problem. People turn to God only when it's made it into quadrant 1, when it's a crisis or a problem, and God, I got to have you now. But they neglect Him in the daily, ordinary course of life. It's how you spend your time in the non-urgent times that will separate you from being average or being excellent. It's this way in any area of our life. Take the initiative of preparation before a crisis or problem demands a relationship with God. Before your marriage reaches the breaking point, invest in your marriage in quadrant 2, not when it's an urgency of quadrant 1. Before your job situation becomes problematic. People that possess the quality of excellence are organized. They know how to spend their time effectively. 5, go all out. Work as hard as you can at whatever your priorities are. 6, be focused. Overcome distractions. They will make you look frazzled and unorganized as well as unprepared. 7, be willing to adapt, plan, and prepare. But if you find out someone else has a better idea, be willing to change when and where it's needed. 8, learn to visualize. Spend time evaluating how best to achieve a goal. Visualize the project and what needs to get done, and then visualize the methods and how you can do them better. Visualization is practicing with your mind. An extremely busy businessman was approaching his wedding anniversary. He and his spouse were to renew their vows. He wanted to surprise his spouse by dancing with her, so he began to see a dance instructor to learn how to dance. He traveled quite a bit and found that the time that he had to actually practice just wasn't enough. Though he practiced the dance moves when he could, he continued to struggle with the mechanics. He told this to the instructor, who told him, "Stop practicing with your body and instead practice with your mind." No matter if you're on an airplane or sitting through someone offering a boring business presentation, even when you cannot practice the moves, when you can't move your feet, you can always visualize the moves. The instructor said, first, visualize the steps, visualize the moves, then perform them. Vision is vitally important to excellence. Visualize every angle, every possible hindrance, what might go wrong, then implement. 9, look for a chance to stand out, even on simple tasks. Refuse to be a "that's not my job" person. It's the piece of paper on the ground situation. See the need, meet the need. Don't walk past a need. And then lastly, don't give up. Quitting and excellence will never coexist. Simply put, go the extra mile. Do more than what's required. A few points to ponder. Number 1, how am I doing on living my life in quadrant 2? Number 2, are there any eyesores in my life or character that needs to be addressed? Thirdly, am I standing out or blending in when it comes to the important areas of my life? And finally, which of the listed principles do I need to work on the most in the areas of importance where I have just been blending in?